Hey Lex, no worries at all. Thanks for letting me know. We actually have an incentivized referral program. So if you do know of anyone who would be a good fit, let me know. Our referral program allows you to earn $100 if any referral lands an interview with a client and up to $4,000 for a successfully placed referral. I just thought this was such a fun and interesting way of really, again, turning a rejection into an opportunity.
Initiating becoming a hiring machine sequence in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, it's Sam Keenley. Welcome back to Becoming a Hiring Machine. This is the show dedicated to fixing recruitment by going beyond saying what needs to change and instead teaches you how to make that change. Today, we've got a great trending topics episode ahead of us, but before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about the show. Essentially, we have shows within the show here. Some days we have interviews with industry thought leaders and others who are shaking up the space, while other days we cover things like trending topics. Stop by every Tuesday for a Tactical Tuesday episode where we go deep on how to do something that's going to help you drive better results in your day-to-day. And occasionally, you get a mic drop episode from Matt where he shares something he's been thinking about in the recruitment space and wants you to know. As a reminder, if you like the content that we share here on the show, make sure that you subscribe for more. All right, today's trending topic, we have your favorite trending topics co-host, Lex, here to get into an interesting one. It kind of piggybacks off of last week's when, we were talking about know your archetype as a recruiter, and this is an organization that's totally leaning into one of them. So, Lex, you want to tee it up?
Yeah, so you teed me up really nicely there because I was thinking the same thing. My mind instantly went to recruiter archetypes and specifically the pioneer, which is a fan favorite over here at Loxo. We, I think, like to all consider ourselves at least slightly a pioneer. It might not be our overarching archetype, but we've all got a little bit of it in us. And I had a situation that just organically kind of came through that instantly made me think of the pioneer archetype. And so I wanted to share this very quick example with our listeners because I think it's a great example of just thinking outside the box, turning everything into an opportunity and just being very innovative everywhere you can.
Okay, I dig it. And Lex, you're allowed to say that you're getting actively recruited by other people. Everyone wants your talent. I don't blame them. But no, she's ours. You can't have her.
Okay, so yes, you're teeing me up again really nicely there. Thank you for the segue. Because yes, this is a situation in which a recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn and it was, a well-targeted opportunity. So when she sent this, I gave her kudos and was like, hey, whatever you used to find me and to reach out to me, great job. I see why you're reaching out to me. I'm not interested right now, but thank you for the outreach. And if I know anyone in my network who I think would be a good fit, I'll be sure to let you know. I think this is one of those things where as a candidate, we all know people who are looking. The job market is crazy right now. There's likely someone, whether it's a friend or someone just in your network who has a similar skill set to you. Maybe it was a past collaborator. Maybe it was someone that you went to school with. You just never know who you could pass an opportunity their way. So anytime a recruiter reaches out to me, I usually have someone in mind that I can kind of send their way. So as a candidate, I just feel like that's a kind and generous thing to do. Like we should all be doing that. And I'm sure recruiters appreciate it. I've heard from many of them that they do. But I got a really interesting response from this specific recruiter. So I wanted to share it and just kind of put it out there for us to chat about really briefly. So this recruiter responded to me and said, hey, Lex, no worries at all. Thanks for letting me know. We actually have an incentivized referral program. So if you do know of anyone who would be a good fit, let me know. We have a platform where you can stay up to date on all of the jobs we have available, as well as refer people within your network. Our referral program allows you to earn $100 if any referral lands an interview with a client and up to $4,000 for a successfully placed referral. So she sent along the information for signing up for that platform, and I referred a couple of people who came to mind for the opportunity that she reached out to me about. I haven't heard anything back yet, but who knows? I could be $4,000 richer just because I rejected an opportunity. So I just thought this was such a fun and interesting way of really, again, turning a rejection into an opportunity. We talk a lot about this concept of all data is good data in the sense of a no isn't exciting to hear, but it's really good information. And so how do you take that a step further and say, okay, I got the no, that's good information. I'm not going to keep reaching out to this person about this specific role, but also there is an opportunity to tap into this person's network, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make it enticing for them to help me. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many. I'm jotting notes because there's so many different things here that just work in your favor as a recruiter with this. So immediately what comes to mind is one, Lex, you're now in their recruitment CRM for them. With the most you probably updated your information in there. I don't know if you gave them the email address that's like, hey, if this referral goes through, I bet you gave them your personal email, not your work email. So that's one piece of information that like, hey, use Loxo. It's hard to get personal contact information. We know that, but like this is a nice little workaround way to get to that. One thing I've always wanted to do when recruiting people is just like, sometimes you have in mind the absolute perfect person, but like you, they're happy in their role, or they're not looking. They just started somewhere new. It's just like, man, I just wish I could find like a lookalike to them, this exact person, versus like, well, they have SaaS experience and they know copywriting and this. It's like, what if I could just drop them and get a lookalike? This is almost that version of that, where if you're recommending them, like you said earlier, if it's a colleague, a peer, someone else that you'd worked with before, I bet they probably are pretty similar to you, especially if you're willing to recommend them. You're probably not going to drop your bar too much when sharing that, especially with like incentives only coming if they do well.
Exactly.
So you have that going for you. And then the relationship side of it, like this recruiter has become memorable to you because of this. It's different. It's unique. It's adding value to you and them. I bet if you ever need the help of a recruiter, you're going to remember who this person was, and you're going to check with them, be like, do they do the type of recruitment for the role I'm searching for? So when you are a hiring manager, separate from being a candidate, like things that Vivian and I talk about all the time in Tactical Tuesdays, like there's so much good that comes from this type of program. But like you said, it's a pioneer mindset. It's different. It's innovative. So I don't know. Like I love every bit of it.
Yeah. And I think what you touched on something that I think is really important to reiterate here, which is this recruiter did a lot of really good things before they even ever heard back from me at all. They targeted me really well. Again, it was an opportunity that made a lot of sense based on my experience, based off the path that I'm on, based off of my skill set in particular. And so when they reached out, it wasn't surprising to me that this person would reach out to me about this opportunity because it did make sense. So that's number one. That makes me more inclined to respond to this message at all and to throw the recruiter a bone and say, hey, I'm not interested, but thanks for the reach out and kudos to you for doing your homework. So that's a really important piece of the puzzle that I think is important to remember. You can't expect that a candidate is going to respond to you and give you more information and more data that helps you recalibrate if you're not doing the work to make sure it's a good outreach in the first place. So I respected the way that this outreach was handled, which made me more likely to respond, which then gave me the opportunity to be impressed and surprised by the follow-up. So I think it's important to remember, like, there were multiple steps that led to this being a successful interaction. It's not just the fact that she turned a rejection into an opportunity and had a structure in place that supported that, but it's also the fact that there was a structure in place that supported a positive outreach experience in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So all in all, I mean, this is something any recruitment organization can do. It's not hard. It's a light lift. You can come up with the rates, if it's per interview landed, if it's per candidate accepted, per, make it to a certain stage, the numbers that go into them that make sense for you. That's why I'll say, like, use the numbers, work backwards from your fee to make sure that it makes sense for them and you. But yeah, I just love the innovativeness of this.
Agreed. So. Yeah. And it gets my mind spinning in terms of like, okay, this is one area for, again, turning a rejection into an opportunity. What are those other places throughout your process, throughout your candidate engagement experience, where you can start to get a little bit more creative to, again, like you said, stand out to the candidate and be someone that comes to mind when they are ready, when they are thinking about this a little bit more. And then also just to create pathways to opportunity throughout your entire recruitment workflow. There are those opportunities if you're looking for them to just tweak things a little bit in a way that doesn't require a ton of manual effort, but that creates an experience that sets you up for success and makes your job easier in the long run. Because like you said, if I end up sending a couple of people her way, it's already like they're pre-qualified in some sense because you've got the referral, the word of mouth referral of someone who was a good fit. So I don't know. I love it. I just thought it was really interesting and wanted to bring it to the table just to share one example of what some outside the box thinking looks like and how it looks from the candidate's experience and side of things as well.
Mm-hmm. So I love it. Well,
Cool.
any final other thoughts on this before we wrap?
Fast and
Quick,
easy one today.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take it. It's a powerful one. So love it. Well, Lex, appreciate you as always for finding these are good topics, different things to get the wheels turning. So always a good episode, new items for us to think about. So as we wrap, Becoming a Hiring Machine is a production of Loxo. If you like this episode, but you're not sure where to go next, we do have a link to a similar one. You can find that in the show notes within the description of your favorite podcast streaming platform, as well as on our website. Full video episodes are available on YouTube. If you ever have questions, send them our way, podcast@loxo.co. And lastly, if you did enjoy this episode, please make sure to leave us a quick rating in your podcast streaming platform. It takes you 3 seconds, but it's going to help other recruiters like you to find us. All right, everyone, that's the show. That was another great Trending Topics episode with Lex. Until next time, bye, y'all.